All right, people, welcome to the AfroGamer Show, and this is the show that talks about esports, gaming, and of course the games and everything in that ecosystem that is indeed a global phenomenon at the moment. My name is Shayo. I would be a regular host on the show, and it promises to be an exciting time whenever you tune in to join us on Afrosport TV as we take you on this journey. It's something new, it's something different, and it's something that will excite not just, not just the Gen Zs, and, people are thinking that everything about games is about the new generation. No, indeed, the millennials also and the older generation get to play games, and we will be shedding more light on that and much more. This is the AfroGamer Show, and it promises to be an exciting time out. We're talking, different things from spotlight on personalities who are shaping that ecosystem. We'll tell you the latest news, which we will dive into and analyze for you. We would have the Game On segment. We'll show you some retro, talking about games that you've forgotten or you've never even seen before, depending on your age and what generation you belong to. It is all here. We're making that happen for you on the AfroGamer Show. Today, I'm not going to be doing this alone, and it's no better way to start the show than with the AfroGamer himself. And I'm talking the managing editor of the AfroGamer.com, Ife Akintaju. He joins me on the show today, and we'll be doing this together the entire time. Ife, I'm excited about this show. The fact that it's something we've been talking about for over four years thereabout, and it's coming to life. Great partnership between the AfroGamer and Afrosport TV, and it promises an exciting time.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. I can't believe it's now here.
It's reality.
Yeah, and I think major shout out and thanks to Afrosport TV for seeing this vision and bringing it to life. So I'm happy to be here.
Definitely, we're happy to be here. Let's take a short break and we will be right back. All right, welcome back. It's still the AfroGamer Show, and it's all about esports, gaming, and games. Everything in that ecosystem, we delve straight into it and we showcase them on this show, reaching you on Afrosport TV. It's in the news segment right now, and interesting news all over, but we'll just pick some of the ones that really pertain to us in Africa. And what better way to start than the Olympic Esports Games? That was a landmark announcement. When we got into the space in 2020, the question was whether the Olympics would embrace esports, but eventually at the 142nd session of the IOC in Paris, France, that decision was reached by all the NOC. It was amazing to see that none was dissenting. Everyone accepted it, but the big question is everyone ready for it?
Okay. Yes, so I think it's been a long time coming. As of 2 years ago, we started seeing the signs as esports started to grow, and it was a matter of when, now not if. And I was really excited to see at the 142nd session that even the African NOCs and the videos online, you saw the African NOCs raising up their hand to support it. The question is, do they know what they are supporting? Is the question. I think compared to Europe or the Americas, there needs to be a crash course, because we have a year to the first Olympic Esports Games in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So for stakeholders in Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Mali, there needs to be that introduction to the NOCs and introduce them to what esports really is. But
let's talk about the entirety of even the Olympics itself, the IOC itself. How much of the current ecosystem would they embrace? We saw the release that says the engagement will start with the international federations that are already engaging their virtual side. And that's one word the IOC has played with till we arrived at esports. It was called virtual sports at some point. I think it was called digital sports. And now they've arrived with the reality and understanding that it's known as esports, which, by the way, is electronic sport. How much of the current structure and operations, because we know there are voices, dissenting voices amongst those who are in the ecosystem, how much of them would be absorbed into the new system that's about to come up?
So It's hard to say, especially because of that initial confusion of virtual to digital to esports, where you have virtual cycling, virtual tennis, virtual rowing. The esports community don't see those games as esports games, and the Olympic spirit, those are the games they see. So I think what we're all waiting for is what the model will be. I think they'll try and infuse both sides, the virtual cycling, the virtual tennis, and then cater to the esports games. Because if you remember the Olympic esports weekend as at Singapore last year, they had to start bringing in those other games. So they brought in NBA 2K.
I think Fortnite was brought in. They brought in Fortnite.
So I think they'll infuse both of them and just look for game titles that are applicable to certain federations like Taekwondo. Not all federations would have that virtual side. So they'll most likely be speaking to game publishers as to what game titles will fit this, because they also need to capture the younger demographic, which IOC has always been saying we need to capture them. Yes.
All right, beyond anything, it promises to be the best of both worlds, whatever decision is taken. What's most important is that a 12-year partnership has been signed with the Saudi Olympic and Paralympic Committee, and that is one that we believe will shape things, considering what the Saudis have invested in esports over the years. And I personally would like to say congratulations to my good friend, His Royal Highness Prince Faisal, who is the president of the Saudi Esports Federation, on this great achievement. Leaving that now, let's talk about the next story, and it's something happening this weekend. It's the grand finale of the LG In-Store Gaming Challenge. That has been up for the past 4 weeks, the qualifiers. Now the finals is coming up. For me, the way I view this is how to build the ecosystem. We talk about grassroots development. We talk about discovering talents. That's exactly what this particular competition has done for the past 4 weeks, as we look forward to crowning the champion this weekend, right?
Yes. So the idea from LG has been fantastic. Instead of, having a specific place where everyone comes to play, they, like you mentioned, the grassroots, they brought it down to everyone. So you just need to walk into those locations, those LG locations, the color stores in Normally and Allen, and then the Lekki store. And then there's a setup for you to play. So if we're looking for something called grassroots esports, that is the actual definition of grassroots esports. And I've had the opportunity to attend a few of those weeks, and it's been wonderful seeing that some people are thinking of career path in playing esports, playing EA, so which has, we need to start to, educate a lot of youths that there's an opportunity there. And I'm looking forward to the grand finale in Lekki to see who will be the champion.
Definitely, the grand finale happens this weekend. We're looking forward to that one. EAFC is what's being competed in, and we see a yearning. There are yearnings for other titles, but we know that out there will be someone, some sponsor, some personality that will be bringing that to life. But for now, let's enjoy the final of this particular one, the LG In-Store Gaming Challenge, happening this weekend. Finally, in the news segment, the Esports Mediterranean Games is happening. 16 countries participating in that one. When is Sub-Saharan Games? But let's talk about that first. By the way,
I think this announcement, when the AfroGamer broke it, came as a surprise even to myself. But the Esports Federation in Libya is hosting a 14 nation tournaments in eFootball and Tekken. And there's a prize pool of 15,000 US dollars. So
who would have thought, though? Libya,
exactly. So they've broken it down. We have 3 participants in Africa. So every country in the Mediterranean region, if you look at geography, is involved. So for Africa, which is our focus, you have Libya, the host, you have Morocco, and you have Egypt. Then for Asia, you have countries like Lebanon, Syria, then the other Bosnia, who they all form that. So it's going to take place between August 6th to August 10th.
10th, okay.
And it's
5 days of action.
Yeah, and it's going to be male and female category, which makes it nice, inclusive, bringing in the females to also show their skills.
I think it's big shout out to the Libyans for this particular one being organized by them. And I believe that it also helps reshape some thinking, because some of these countries, there are talks about the reaction to women participation in sports. It's good to see them involving them in esports, and that definitely is a forward-thinking thing. Talking about the esports Mediterranean Games, we're looking forward to that particular one. We'll take a short break. When we get back, there's still more on the AfroGamer Show. All right, welcome back. It's still the AfroGamer Show, and if you've missed the start, well, I'd say you've missed quite a bit, but there's still much more to come as we move on the show. My name is Shayo, your host. I've got Ife here with me, my guest, and together we're running on this particular one. We move on to the spotlight segment right now, and it was good to welcome someone from China in Nigeria to help grow the esports ecosystem. I'm talking Lucas Zhang, who is the head global business development at Tencent. And in case you don't know, Tencent is one of the biggest investors in the esports space, and they have that popular game, PUBG Mobile, which he is here to drive, not just in Nigeria, but for the African market. If it was good to see Lucas, we had a sit out with him, we had a chat, and we saw how interested he is in growing the user base, not just for the business angle now, but he's passionate about the growth of mobile gaming and, of course, PUBG Mobile in the African market. And we're looking forward to some good stuff over the next few months.
Yes. So what stood out for me in that interaction and visit was the fact that they were ready to include Africa into their whole framework.
Yeah.
As we all know, Africa has always been that last frontier.
Yes, yes.
When you have your global tournaments, Africa is not there. So I think, you know, it's just a sign of relief that they are recognizing that Africa does exist, and there's that talent. And I know he was able to go to University of Lagos to speak with actual PUBG gamers, and he was excited with what he was finding out. So he has said they're looking to do something big. So we're looking forward to just, you know.
So we're talking on a national level and on a continental level. I know he's talking about bringing, you know, even creating a slot, and I think this is me letting out a trade secret, creating a slot on the international scene for a Nigerian participation. But can we talk about something for the African continent that brings all of us together? Just the same way we were talking about the Esports Mediterranean Games a while back. Can that happen with a PUBG Mobile tournament?
Yes. So obviously,
or should that be something you should be thinking about?
You should, obviously, to create that slot, even either for Nigeria or Africa, you need to do something locally at the grassroots for you to get that ticket or that slot assigned to you. So I think that should be first. We need to have accurate numbers. So they have the numbers because they are the publishers, but we need to know what the strength of the community is. Everyone just has, you know, vague numbers in mind, like, okay, there's this tournament that happened, 500 people came, but we actually need to have an accurate range. So that range could be 1,005 or 15,000 people to 20,000 people.
And that helps with data also.
Exactly. So once again, brand partnership comes into play when you have accurate numbers. So I'm hoping, as much as it's here for business, is, you know, being able to speak with stakeholders so that we can get an accurate figure of how many gamers are there for PUBG. Definitely,
we're looking forward to that. Lucas Zhang, head of global business development at Tencent, in town to just ensure that the growth of PUBG Mobile, that much popular title world over, is happening here in Nigeria, and that's a good news. That's an exciting news to be celebrated by the ecosystem. Moving on swiftly from the spotlight segment, let's talk about the game on segment, and we're back in Paris during the opening ceremony, and this was a big deal because I didn't watch from the beginning. At the time I came in was when Zinedine Zidane showed up and was walking out. Then someone emerged from the underground, or whatever name we want to call it. And I looked at him and I was like, this reminds me of a game. A video game. And it's exciting for us to now read that the director of the opening ceremony is a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, and that's why he included that character, Armor, who is very popular. I'm sure the guys will be seeing this picture, the picture in Paris and the picture in the game, that was the inspiration for that. Now, this shows the influence of video games across board, Ife.
Yes, it is. It does. So let me just digress a little bit. We know gaming makes more revenue than both music and movies together
at the moment.
So it is influential to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It has no age restriction. So it was wonderful to see that there was a theme and it was gaming related, and you know, there was no pushback, and it does further buttresses that IOC, in my opinion, is ready to start accepting that gaming and esports is here to stay.
Gaming and esports here to stay, definitely. One thing that also interested me there was the fact that the opening ceremony now, beyond games, was not done in the stadium. That's also an inspirational move by the Olympics, by the IOC, and definitely the local organizing committee. Yeah,
I think we're getting to a stage where people want something new.
Yeah. So,
you know, and again, it's Paris. So you have to be creative. With Paris, we've known them with special things, art, food. So, you know, it was, I think, fashion. So I think they wanted something that would make people talk about them rather than, okay, it just happened in the stadium and that was it. So they're leaving an impression on the Olympic community. So I think that was wonderful.
Now coming back to gaming, that act and the entire opening ceremony brought the question of opening ceremonies at esports championships. You and I have been part of the Global Esports Games, virtually twice, live once. Is there something that needs to happen with opening ceremonies at esports competitions for it to become something that would be a conversation like we saw with the Olympics? And don't forget what happened with Qatar, also the World Cup. It was a show. AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire was a show also. People are now talking about creating that same experience for opening ceremonies at esports championships.
So I'm expecting that something similar would happen
with the Olympic esports
game, because there's now a standard. As to other championships, I'm not so sure because they are so focused more on the game.
The games, yeah.
But with the Saudi Olympic Committee, now that it's an IOC event, they have to come, you know, with, okay, where there's an opening ceremony, people will probably, you know, dress up in gaming, their gaming characters that they love, or anime. So, you know, hopefully they also have someone as creative as the one in Paris to give us something to talk about next year.
And there's cosplay with gaming, which should be a good infusion into opening ceremony things, and I think that would make a difference, really.
Yeah, I think Global Esports Game, they did have it, but it was not as pronounced.
Yeah. So lots of focus on the games, but there's that need for us to drill down to this whole culture and celebrations around the games, definitely. Well, I don't know how old you are, but what I'm about to show on the show this time around is something that goes way back. That would make you ask how old you are, or if you've ever seen it before. This is the retro segment of the show. We'll be back to talk about it. By that time, you probably will be able to discover how old Ife is. Then we will dig into it. This is our retro for today. Welcome back. There you go. If you played that game, don't lie.
I did.
We know how old he is. Automatically, we know how old.
But it's called retro, so I could have played it in the 90s.
Well, we still know how old you are. That's a case for those who don't know, especially the Gen Zs. That is known as family com. And that is what football used to be as a game when we started out playing games. If that's brought back some exciting memories.
Yes, it did. It was nostalgic.
Yeah.
To see how far gaming has come.
Also looks like SNES though.
No, it was Famicom is also by Nintendo.
Yeah,
so it was a Nintendo.
Looks like SNES. It was a Nintendo package.
Yeah, and after looking at that video, I'm thinking probably I should go and download it just for the feeling, to bring back that rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think retro games should be brought back. I know a few streamers, that's all they play.
Yeah.
But I think there's an opportunity
and
there.
that's a niche. That's a good niche.
That's a niche, yeah.
One thing that also is exciting in that, if you get to play it, for those who haven't played it, if you're not playing well, it says boring.
Boring, yes.
That used to be something we're looking forward to when we were watching people play, and we're like, this is not exciting. It just pops up. Boring.
Yeah.
So that's something in there. That's on the retro segment for today. Well, as we bring the show home and wrap up for this edition, the maiden edition of the AfroGamer Show, don't forget this will be coming to you on Afrosport TV, and it promises to be an exciting weekly journey with us. It's once a week, and we'll be here to delve into everything happening in the world of esports, gaming, and of course the games. It has been an exciting one, Ife. Thank you for joining on the show today. It's been a great time out, delving into the different segments, from the in the news segment to the definitely the spotlight game on retro, which was an exciting one that revealed how old Ife is. And as we wrap up, we tell you it's game over. But on game over, we're not saying goodbye. We're only saying see you some other time. The showcase on game over for today is the session, the 142nd session of the IOC, where the decision for the Olympic Esports Games was ratified by all the members of the IOC, all the national Olympic committees of the IOC. That is something that would reshape the world of esports, and we would be here to be part of it, to tell you about it, and definitely to contribute our own quota to it. My name is Shayo. It's been the AfroGamer Show. I'll catch you next week.
And I want there to put for your vote to approve the creation of Olympic Esports Games in the framework of the proposal provided to you by the IOC Executive Board. Who is in favor of the creation of Olympic Esports Games? Please raise your hand. Very difficult to see. It is a clear majority, but again, let's go for the ones who do not support the no votes, please. We see no vote. Is this correct? If somebody wants to vote no, then no, then this appears to be correct. And abstentions? I also don't see an abstention. Is there an abstention? No. Thank you very much, my dear friends and colleagues. With your vote, you have created the Olympic Esports Games. Congratulations, and thank you very much, and also congratulations to our friends and partners from the Saudi National Olympic Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to the IOC members. Thank you very much.